Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to First Look Friday with me, JD. And today we're going to be taking a look at the 1.0 release of Satisfactory. It happened just a few days ago. And hopefully spend a little time together checking out some games that you might be interested in checking out for the weekend. All right, let's take a look here. Now, I will be the first to say that I am not new to Satisfactory. I've played a lot of it in the early access. But we're going to start a fresh world real quick. Gotta love that coffee. Hopefully you've got your coffee or some other delicious beverage to enjoy as we check this out. So first, look Friday. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and do the tutorial, the onboarding process, just to take ourselves through it. This is not gonna be completely blind for me, but that's okay. We're gonna do it in grass fields, the starting area, just because that's where most people are gonna start out. And we'll go through the whole little intro sequence where we're gonna get another narrator speaking to us, just like back in Fabledom. So let's check it out. I'm going to be quiet and let you guys enjoy.
Main transport complete. Group A delivered to Calistian region. All pioneers functional, initiating dispersion. Attention pioneer, I am Ada, your personal instance of the artificial directory and assistant.
Good old Ada.
Welcome to the Fixit Incorporated Save the Day program. A Fixit pioneer has 3 core assignments. Construct. All pioneers must follow Fixit guidelines and instructions when constructing any building. Automate. Every pioneer is responsible for setting up and managing efficient pipelines, outposts, and power infrastructure. Explore and exploit. Fixit selected planets are rich with resources suitable for direct use or further investigation. Stay within your designated sphere of sun. And that is why the world is counting on pioneers like you. Fixit. Short-term solutions to long-term problems.
That was a little bit weird.
Initiating planetfall. Atmospheric entry in 3, 2, 1. Beginning aero assist.
I like how a little wrist wrap over on the
Drag
device is trailing up in the air. Nice little detail there. We still got Mr. Squeaky Chair going here.
Deploying parachute. Deploying backup parachute.
Backup parachute.
Skipping parachute.
Skipping parachute.
Landing phase begun. Activating retro propulsion.
Activating retro propulsion. Alright, so the cool thing about this game is there's an entire tutorial sequence that teaches you everything you need to know to get going in the world. Because the game is a bit complicated at times, there's a lot to do. So the tutorial is very good at kind of setting you up and, leading you towards success.
Pioneer, acceptable. Congratulations, you are the 3rd in your region to survive planetfall.
Alright, first thing we want to do is start grabbing up some leaves while Ada talks to us.
Loading objective-based introduction. Begin onboarding. Interrupting previous message for higher priority message. First contact safety tool supplied due to presence of alien megafauna. Adhere to Fixit procedure and equip the Fixit Inc. Xeno Zapper before leaving the drop zone.
So it wants us to equip this.
Next objective. Dismantle the drop pod. Fixit Incorporated as cost-effective and efficient.
It tells us to press F to enter dismantle mode. While in dismantle mode, hold left mouse button to dismantle. So we're going to dismantle the drop pod and we're going to get 10 material. So if we press tab, we can see we got 10 iron ore.
Next objective. Use the resource scanner to find and collect additional iron to be able
So hold
to build
V
the hub.
to bring up the resource scanner.
If you cannot find iron, be assured scans of the planet have revealed sufficient iron sources.
So it looks like we got 2 sources right over here ahead of us. We'll head this way. And you're going to see me constantly fumbling with the hotkeys in this game because of the various number of games that I play. This one's hotkeys are very different. And for some reason, the brain is just overloaded with hotkeys lately. I think it's because it's E in this game to interact with things, and it's F in Star Citizen. And I've been doing a lot of Star Citizen on stream lately in the evenings. So yeah. Shift will allow us to sprint, so we're going to sprint over to our next location.
As a valid field test and does not generate enough data for Fix-It to make an informed decision. Store this potential resource for later use.
And then as we come up here, there we go. There's 2 iron nodes, but there's a creature guarding them. So let's have our first encounter with the wildlife. What's up, big guy? No. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Alright. We have established our dominance.
Samples of new
We're going to mine this
interrupting previous
iron ore
message for higher
by
priority
hand.
message.
There's another one right over here. We're going to mine this one.
Use the build gun to construct the hub.
It wants us to
Iron is a
build
base component
the hub.
necessary for all near future progress, so ensure you build the hub close to iron sources.
Let's have a look
Fix
at our
It does
area.
not pay
I
by
kind of
the
like this
kilometer.
area up here. Let's build our hub right here. So B, for me, that's the hotkey I have set. I'm just going to set my hub up. I'm going to set it right by these trees. Looks good. I don't know if that's a good decision or not.
Hub foundation built. The hub terminal and crafting bench are only the humble beginnings of a successful Fix-It pioneer, but essential for the next steps of
Okay, so we've
onboarding.
got
Once finished,
many
the hub will
phases to
function
work
as your
through,
base
but
of
the 0 tier
operations.
phase
Next
right,
objective
is hub
complete
upgrades.
hub
So we need to
upgrade
make,
1.
we're going to unlock an equipment workshop, a portable miner, and an equipment hand slot. To do this, we need to get 10 iron rods. Alright. So let's come over here. We can use our crafting bench to turn iron into ingots. And you can either hold this button down with your mouse, you can hold it down with spacebar, or you can tap spacebar and it will just go for you. My suggestion is you tap spacebar. We're going to turn all of our iron into ingots right quick. Now, I'm not going to do every single crafting recipe on screen because that will take a significant amount of time. So we will be skipping through some of the crafting in this first look just so we can fit a little more actual content and progression in. But we'll craft this first little bit directly. All right, so it wants us to make 10 of these. So let's do this. Okay. Turn around, stick these 10 in, and upgrade the hub. Now we've got kind of a frame around our hub.
Hub
That's
upgrade
cool.
1, storage
We also
and
now have
frame
access to the
completed.
personal storage.
Equipment like the portable miner can now be made in the workshop. Congratulations on completing your first milestone, the first of many providing access
Upgrade
to
2.
new recipes and technologies for the Fix-It mission. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 2.
So Hub Upgrade 2 is going to give us access to a smelter, a power line, copper ingots, wire, cable, and scannable resource copper ore. So we're going to get a new resource, but we need 20 more iron bars and rods and 10 iron plates. So let's get that done right quick. I don't think we have enough for both, but we're going to find out. We might. We don't. Okay, so let's see. What do we need to build the equipment station? Let's build this real quick. We're just going to set this little guy right here off to the side. About as close as we can get it. Right there is good. And then I want to see, what do we need to build our first portable miner? We have the stuff. All right, let's go ahead and make a portable miner so that we can have this guy mining iron for us while we do other things. Everything in this game is focused around, once you can do something, as quickly as possible, automate that something so that you can be focused on doing the next something. So we're going to put this little guy right there and let him start mining ore for us. We'll mine a little as well because we need a little bit more. I'm going to mine, let's say, 25, and we'll see what he has done in the once that's done. He's got a little cool little animation. Alright, let's see what he's got for me. He's got 12 more. Alright, so we've got some more iron. Take this up here. And we're going to go ahead and craft this in. And I'll bring you guys back as soon as I'm done crafting the iron ingots up. So I'll see you guys in just a moment. Alright, so I've gone ahead and crafted the iron ingots, but I also went ahead and crafted the plates and the rods, so we can turn these in. There we go. And we will now upgrade to Hub Upgrade 2, which is going to gain us access to copper. We actually get some walls on our buildings now.
Hub Upgrade 2, Power and Shell, completed.
And we actually gain access to the biomass afterburner, or biomass
and
burner,
the
not
biomass burner
afterburner.
generates power when fueled. Fun fact, most of the native flora and fauna is compatible with Fix-It technology. Fueling the biomass burner with inappropriate materials will result in deductions or even cancellation of your yearly bonus. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 3.
Okay, so at this point, we're ready to go looking for some copper, I believe. And it tells us over here to bring up the resource scanner. Press F to dismantle buildings, can be dismantled without the loss of resources. That's great. Whoops. I need to go ahead and finish this. We're going to need, if we go out and find copper, we're going to need another miner. So I'm going to go ahead and get some plates made so that we can make some miners now. And for that, we'll also need some rods, so let's get that done. And let's come over here, and we're going to need at least, I'd say, let's make all 3 of these miners for now. Why 3? Because, first off, let's do a scan. Where's our nearest copper node? There's one right there. I can already see it. Okay. Along with needing copper, another thing that we're going to need very soon is going to be a third resource called limestone. And by the way, you can put as many of these little guys out as you want on a node. And as long as you keep coming by and manually emptying them, it's all good. But yeah, so as I was saying, we're going to need some limestone soon as well. So I'd like to have one of these ready to go for limestone. But right up here, we've got our copper. Let's go take care of this real quick. And then we will look at Hub Upgrade 3. Now, we're going to have to fight this guy. He did. Let's go ahead and harvest this. Should remind you of a song you've heard in your life. Alright, so we'll drop him down. And so the last thing that we would need would be limestone. Let's see if we can very quickly glance around and find some limestone. If we can't immediately see some, we won't mess with it. A nice little trail going through there. Resources over there as well. Okay. I don't immediately see limestone, and it should be pretty obvious. Now, here's another resource. This is raw quartz.
Unknown crystalline mineral collected. This mineral is composed of the same chemical elements as quartz and may yield similar industrial functions. Store this potential resource for later use.
Okay, Ada. Ouch. There is fall damage. This is sulfur.
Unknown chemical element collected. This non-metallic and multivalent element seems to be present only in a solid state and exhibits a most pungent smell. It is fortunate Fix-It helmets are of such high quality. Store this potential resource for later use.
Alright, so let's pick up our Hub Upgrade 3 mission. Or objective, I should say. So here we're going to get the constructor, power poles, concrete, screws, reinforced plates, and the ability to scan for limestone. So we're going to need a bunch of stuff for this. Now, copper ingots, we can make those. But one of the things we might want to look at that we got a moment ago was the ability for us to begin building our first machines in the form of smelters. I keep losing my train of thought, I'm sorry. For that, I can already tell you we're definitely going to need to make some more iron ingots, and we're going to need to make some more iron plates and iron rods. Let's look at the recipe for it though. So if we hit B and come to production, we can see there's a smelter here. And if I want to track what I need to build this, I can see I need iron rods and I can see I need copper wire down there, but you can right click it and click add to to-do list, and it will put a little marker over here. Not a marker, but I don't know what the word, task list, recipe, that's it. The necessary recipe, ingredients, quantity. I can't, like a to-do list, man. It's a tracker. That's it. A recipe, an ingredient tracker. Right over here. Golly, that was difficult to get out. That old brain, man. Struggling. So let's go ahead and get some iron rods, and let's get our first smelters going. So I'm going to do 10 iron rods here. I'm going to do a bunch of wire, because we're going to need this wire. Now, once you start making wire, you can use wire to make cabling. And wire, we're going to use tons of wiring. We're going to use tons of cabling. This is going to be a never-ending process of us turning copper into wire and cables. In fact, wire and cables are just about all you use copper for. Just be aware. Okay. So let's go ahead and build our first smelter. Now, I'm going to just build my smelting line starting, let's say, right here. Okay. And we need to get power to it. So if I hit 2, I can run a power line using a cable off of the back of this guy over to this guy. Right now, I can only have that one singular power line connected because it's a one-to-one connection at the moment. But we will change that later. And then if I open this guy up, I can go ahead and throw all of my leaves in there, and it will start providing power to that bad mamma jamma. So I can come up down here and I can grab up whatever iron ore these guys have mined. That way they can continue to run. I can open this up, select iron ingot, throw 100 iron ore in there, and now we have automated production of iron going on. So that is already a step forward. We don't have to make it. And that's kind of what the game flow is going to look like. Get a new structure, all right, get a new material, okay. How can I automate that? We're going to continue to grab up leaves because leaves are what we're using to power our system with right now. And let's get over here and make the other things that we need. So we need more iron plates. Let's go ahead and make those. We'll get that up to 20 right quick, and then we're going to need iron rods. And for that, we're going to need more iron ingots, which I'm going to hopefully come and snatch from here. And it tells you on this machine that this machine will make 1 iron ingot for 1 iron ore. It's going to process 30 ore per minute, and it's going to give back 30 ingots per minute. That's going to be very important as we progress through the game for figuring out the appropriate ratios for each building. So let's go ahead and make the iron rods now. Okay, this will allow us to get to the next tier. So we'll upgrade again.
Hub Upgrade 3, Interior Furnishing, completed. The constructor can produce simple parts, and power poles allow for the expansion of the power grid. When you make the inevitable mistake, Fix-It's dismantling feature is designed to salvage all resources used during construction, in line with our zero waste policy. We understand that Fix-It pioneers are only human, and thus prone to error. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 4.
Okay, so it tells you on the left that all information about recipes, buildings, and other messages are stored in the codex. We can hit O to open our codex, so let's do that right quick. So O, here's your codex, and you can search this. Sometimes you'll get mail messages from anything that you've heard so far. This is where all your messages from Ada are coming. But we can come in here, we can look at buildings, right? We can look at the hub. It tells you that this is what you need. You can look at the equipment workshop, the crafting bench, the smelter. Okay, so there's lots of information here that you can review. Alright, now for Hub Upgrade 4, we're going to get a conveyor pole, conveyor belt, increased inventory slots for our character, but we're going to need concrete, cables, and plates. So let's go ahead and select this. And at this point, we're able to now scan for limestone. So we've got some limestone right over here. So let's load up our machine here. We want to keep this dude loaded at all times. Keep all that iron ore in our inventory instead. Keep those dudes running. And let's run right over here to wherever this limestone is. Right below us. Nice. Not too far at all. Okay, we'll put down our final miner right here. Let him get to work. And while he's getting the first little bit of limestone for us so that we can make concrete out of it. We'll gather up some leaves. Now, what is this over here? Is this another iron node? We've got several more resource nodes right down here. That's good to see. Looks like iron, and I believe there's 3 of them right here. Very nice. Okay, we're going to get into a fight. Yeah, 3 iron nodes right there. Excellent. We're going to have really strong iron production. Game gave us a good start to iron. Got a nice open area down here that we're going to be able to work and build in as well, so that'll be cool. Might end up moving my hub a little closer to this area at some point. We'll see, because this is a pretty big open area. Hey, look, another quartz. Never mind that. Okay. Just getting a little general idea of what's down here. Let's grab up whatever limestone we've got out. I'm going to wait for it to get to 25, because we're going to use at least 10 just to do the hub upgrade, and I know that we want to make some power poles as well. Okay, we're going to grab all of that. Let's see if we can climb back up our mountain here. What's the easiest way to the top going to be? It's not too bad of a deal. We'll eventually build this ramp or a conveyor belt that will take us up and down from there. A lot easier. I am going to drop off some leaves into our burner here so that we don't run out of power. So we can keep everything on the up and up. There we go. That's got max leaves in it now. We'll come do a little swappy swap here. Drop that in, pull this out because that had just completed. Yeah, don't stop. Keep working. Okay, so cable and all that good stuff. We've got 11 cable on us, so let's make a little bit more wire. And then I'm going to cut away and make the concrete. Actually, we don't even have enough. That takes 3 per. So I'm going to have to go get more limestone to have enough concrete to complete the current objective. So I'll bring you guys back after we have everything ready to finish Hub 4. I'll see you guys in just a minute. Alright, so we're back, and let's see here. We've got the plates. Oh, we're missing the cables. I forgot to finish the cables. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and knock these out right quick. There we go. Got the cables. Right, there's the cable. There's Hub Upgrade 4 complete.
Hub Upgrade 4, landing platform and utilities completed. Conveyor belts connect the output of one building to the input of another and transport resources. Due to past incidents, I have been asked to issue a clarification. Portable miners, obviously, do not have a connection for conveyor belts. There is nothing to suggest, visually or functionally, that they can be connected to portable miners. If this is something you struggle with, do not worry. Fixit has alternative uses for all their pioneers. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 5.
Are you one of those engineers or pioneers that needs an alternative path because you cannot understand that a portable miner cannot be connected to a conveyor belt? If so, contact Fixit today for respecialization. Alright, so we're going to need more wire, but it is time to begin some expansion. So one of the first things that I want to do is I want to get some power poles set up. Power poles take wire, they take some concrete, and they take rods. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, as I do the rest of this, when you're building power poles, build them liberally and keep a certain concept in mind. Unless you know that the power pole you're building is going to be the final one in the chain, where nothing else is going to need to connect off of it, it's not going to need to move power anywhere else, never connect more than 2 items to the power pole. I'll explain why right now. So, when I set down this first power pole, and I'm going to set it down right here, and I take down, using my delete function on my tool here, this power. I'm then going to run a power line to this, okay? Now you can see it can only hold 4. Well, if I connect that machine up, 2 will be taken. And if I connect another machine up, 3 will be taken. And another machine, 4. And then nothing else can connect to it, and it's connected to my main power source here. Meaning, nothing else can connect to the main power source because it can only connect to the pole. So instead, always remember that you're going to need to connect another power pole to said power pole. So 2 of the slots are going to be used every time, right? And now I can connect to this guy. And I've got room to connect other power poles off of that one, which is our main power connection. Now the problem is I need cables, so let's make some cables right quick. And it is nighttime, so we'll turn on our lamp, our flashlight here, and let's make some cables. Okay, that's good. Now, for our next hub upgrade, we're going to open up the miner MK1, our first storage container, and 3 more inventory slots. We're going to need 20 more concrete, 50 cable, and a whole bunch of rods. We should be able to do this pretty quickly, but I want to get this guy at least set up here. And I'd like to build, if we can, a second smelter. Okay. This one we're going to build over here, though, because this is going to be for copper. So I'm going to just set him back. Probably, let's say right here for now. Okay, and we'll set up a power pole right next to him. And we'll set up a power pole right back here, just to keep things simple. And now, this is where that we were smart comes into play, right? You can connect this guy up, connect this guy up, and connect that guy up. And this guy can now be used to start smelting down our copper. So we've got both types of materials now automated, which is great. And we're going to want more smelters eventually, but we're not quite ready yet. What we now need to do is complete this quest. So I'm going to go gather up some limestone, and I'm going to craft these materials, and I'll bring you guys back as soon as that's done so that we can take our next steps. So I'll see you guys in just a moment. Alright, so we've got all of our components here to complete Hub Upgrade 5. Let's turn all this stuff in. I've gone ahead and made a little extra, so we'll have some on hand to work with.
Hub Upgrade 5 power expansion completed. The miner, unlike portable miners, can be connected to conveyor belts and requires power to function. Caution: as you expand, the energy demand of your production may exceed the capacity of your power grid. The onboarding program was established because Fix-It pioneers often experience memory issues after planetfall. If you are experiencing nosebleeds, nausea, existentialism, or an itchy scalp, there is no need for concern. This should pass within 5 to 7 workdays. Next objective: complete Hub Upgrade 6.
Alright, so we are ready to start working towards Hub Upgrade 6, which, if I remember correctly, should be the last step in the tutorial. And for this, so what we just got was miners, storage containers, and inventory slots. Hub Upgrade 6 is going to give us access to the space elevator, biomass burners, and 3 more inventory slots. We're going to need 100, 100, 100, and 50, so we'll get all that going. But we are ready, hopefully, to build our first miner. Now, we could have already built a constructor. I've intentionally not done that yet because of the power needs of the constructor. What I want to do is I want to step down here. I want to grab this little guy up. This guy's about done too, so we'll empty his stuff. I want to build my first miner. This takes plates and concrete. Okay, so I'm going to build one here. We're going to face it towards our smelter right there. Probably something like that. And now is where we're going to start to use our first conveyor belts. And we're going to use our conveyor belts just to connect these two up. For now, I'm going to do a direct connection, just to keep things simple. And I'm not gonna give it its own power pole at the moment. Actually, I will. I will give it its own power pole because I know I'm gonna build another one right here. So we'll put a power pole right there. Bring power off of this and power up to there. Okay. So this guy's gonna start up, and congratulations, we now have automated iron ore mining, and all the iron ore that we mine is gonna be fed directly into a smelter. Now, that's gonna back up whenever the internal inventory of the smelter reaches 100. So to counter that, what we can do is, for the time being, we can just drop a storage container. This takes rods and plates, and we can just turn it to face this direction. And if you hold control, you will line it up. I'm going to give it a little room, bring it out to about right here. And then we will run a conveyor belt. So now, as the iron ore comes in, the iron ore gets smelted, the iron ore gets turned into bars, the bars go into there, and we can collect the bars. Nice. Okay, so we have our first loop. Now, I have enough stuff, I believe, to build at least a couple of more miners. Maybe only one, but I think a couple more. Let me look. Oh, we're short. We're short, looks like 1 concrete, sadly. Do I have any limestone? We're going to have to go get some limestone. Okay. This should be the last time I have to come down here and do this, though, is the good news. So let's get ready to move up here. And we'll make the concrete right quick. And then we'll get a miner down there for limestone. And we'll start delivering all the limestone up to the top. And we'll get that processing into concrete very soon. So let's go ahead and make concrete. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually set up our first constructor. So how much concrete do we have? Let's get it to about 40 and then we'll stop. Perfect. Okay. Let's make some screws right quick. We use iron rods to make screws. And that's plenty. And then we're going to use some plates and some screws to make reinforced plates. Okay. And that should be all that I need at the moment to do what I would like to do. So let's look at what our shortest path is. I think the path that I'm going to want... Yep, that looks good. Where is it at? It's right here? Okay, so we want to aim for right. Probably come up right through here. Okay. Let's do it. Let's grab this little guy. Let's build our... Not a smelter. A miner. Okay. Let's build said miner to go face probably that direction. Now, obviously, we're going to need power poles down here. Or somewhere nearby. They don't necessarily have to be down here. They can be up here on this hill. And that'll be fine. So we'll build a power pole. Let's do it right here. And this pole can kind of be our entry point to getting down below later when we need to. But we can run it back to there. Okay, that guy's now hooked up. He should start mining. Now the fun part. Running a... I hate that that's going to clip. There we go. Okay, we'll start our conveyor belt right there. Now we're short on plates. We need plates. But we've got concrete being, or not concrete itself, but limestone being delivered up closer to the base now. That's step one. Let's get some plates made. So plates are the key ingredient for making conveyor belts. And once we kind of get these supply lines established, I'm going to go ahead and step over here and make the miner for copper so that it can be fed into the smelter over here so that it's no longer backing up. So let's build our miner right here. Spin this towards the base. That works. And let's just go ahead and take this directly down and into there. Beautiful. So now we have copper being handed off. Grab our 100 copper bars here. Load that guy up. Sort our inventory to combine stacks. And let me respond to this right quick. I've got a sister that's dealing with the hurricane that's been going on, so I just want to make sure she's doing okay. Now, we'll build the storage building for perfect. Let's put that in there. We'll build the storage container for copper real quick. So organization, storage container. We can just set this, for the time being, it can just set directly in front of it. We're going to be reorganizing all this later. But that will allow constant output of copper ingots so that that doesn't get backed up and stopped. And now I just need some iron plates to finish bringing the limestone up. And to hopefully build a constructor right quick to convert the limestone into concrete for us so that we have a finished product on that. And we don't have to even think about limestone and concrete anymore. That would be the goal. So let's see if we can do that right quick. So we've got this guy. We want to bring this guy up to say right there. Yep, that looks good. And then from there, let's go ahead and do build mode and build a production, a constructor. We're going to try to line this up with that. That looks good. Bam. We can take power off of this guy. Now, you'll notice that at some point, we got a second power system hooked up. That was when we completed hub upgrade 4. So now this pole is completely occupied. But now we can produce even more power. If I can get out of this tool. Because I'm terrible at remembering how to do this. And I keep opening a screen I don't mean to. And drop some more leaves into this guy. There we go. Now we got double the power. Double the fun. And we're going to let this dude start making concrete for us. Okay? And we can see he'll consume 45 limestone per minute. And he'll produce 15 concrete per minute. Let's go ahead and get a container for him. I don't know why it's sketching out, but that's okay. There we go. We now have our raw materials buffered and producing for us at no expense to ourselves other than going out and collecting energy. Now look, everything just shut down. We just heard a loud noise. Why? Well, I put power into one of them, but I bet you this other one is now out of fuel. Let's look. Yep, we're out of fuel. Okay, so we need to put some leaves in there. Once you repower it, I'm going to grab a few more leaves right quick. I could put wood in there. I'm trying to kind of hold on to the wood for when we get to biofuel production. But let's go ahead and throw some more leaves in. So 50 leaves, you've got to pull your lever and turn it back on. All right, everything's running again. We're good. But now we have a very heavy power footprint. And so we need a better fuel source to continue to sustain this. We can't do it right now unless we just want to spend all of our time running around gathering up plants like this. Fortunately for us, the next hub upgrade does unlock biofuel for us and lets us create our own biofuel burners, because obviously those 2 burners right there are not going to be enough to support this whole factory as we build it out, which is the goal of the game, right? Is to build a giant factory. So I'm going to cut away. I'm going to go ahead and craft all the materials necessary for getting us our next hub upgrade. And we should be good to go at that point. Oh, look, we got a nice little source of wood right here. Good. Wood is very helpful in the early game. We could burn it right now, but like I said, I'm going to hold on to it. Anyway, I'm going to cut away, and I will bring you guys back in just a moment as we continue to make this whole factory a bit more efficient. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. See you in a minute. Alright, boys and girls, we are back. And we've got all of the components that we need. So we're going to drop the... Oh, I lied. We do not have all the cement we need, but we don't need to craft that. We just have to walk down here and pick it up. So come down here and take all. Alright, I have gone ahead and purged my inventory of all iron ore, copper ore. I've refueled the system for a little bit, and I've dropped off all of our excess inventory into this box for the time being. And so let's go ahead and put the concrete in. Upgrade 6. Now this is a cool
Upgrade
one.
6. Landing platform hydraulics completed. Freighter landing initialized.
There's our freighter.
Congratulations, you have completed onboarding and achieved the absolute minimum skill level required of a Fix-It Pioneer. Fix-It looks forward to your future achievements, because a future with Fix-It is a future with you.
So cool, man.
Tier 1 and 2 milestones are now available in the hub, and biomass burners can now be built individually. Your first official objective is to initiate project assembly by building the space elevator. This objective will take a significant amount of resources, so Fix-It recommends getting to work.
Okay, so we're going to want some biomass burners. And I think for right now, my plan is to build the biomass burners right along out here. We're going to build 2 of them to start. And they're going to want their own power poles. And remember, no more than 2 per power pole, so we'll need some more power poles. We'll go ahead and get a few of them set up here. And cables between these. And we'll hook these into the main power grid via this guy. So we can hook one into there and one into there. And these work just like the biomass burners that are up on our hub, only they can be automated, which is why I wanted to build 2 of them, because I want to replace the usage of these 2 as soon as possible. This also opens us up to a lot of other things. Now, if you're doing the tutorial without explaining everything the way that I am, without taking all the pauses to kind of get everything all nice and situated, you can probably do it somewhere between 20 minutes and an hour, somewhere in there, right? Or you can just skip it and start off right where I am at right now. That is an option. Okay. Now we're going to take this stuff that we have in here, and we're going to come over here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to convert wood into biomass. because biomass is a much better fuel source. And I'm going to take the biomass that I've just made. I'm going to split it in half. I'm going to come over to these guys because they're running a very inefficient fuel source right now. 80 per minute are consumed to keep us powered. If we put this in instead, 6 per minute are used. Much better power source. Same thing. Swap these in. Alright. Now, if we hit sort, it'll combine all of our inventories. We dropped from using 80 per minute to using, we'll call it 7 for fun. It takes 10 to make 5. That's a way better ratio. So we definitely want to craft as much biomass as we can get our hands on. And the reason we built the additional burners is not only because we can automate them, but we're going to have those as we continue our base expansion just to keep our power grid strong enough to support all the various machines we're going to have. Now, building biomass off of leaves is rather quick, and you don't get much. Wood, on the other hand, it only takes 4 wood to produce 20 biomass. You get a lot. And so now we kind of have the game beginning to open up to us. And this is where we get into our actual tiered milestones. So let's stop building biomass for a second here. And we can look that we can go to tier 1 or tier 2. Under tier 1, we've got the ability to do base building, which is all of our foundations. Under tier 1, we also have logistics, which gives us the conveyor splitters, mergers, lifts, and our building efficiency stat. Under field research, we get our map. We get the molecular analysis machine. We get the object scanner. We get an increased personal storage size. Contains 25 slots for storing large amounts of items. And we get 3 more personal inventory slots. Under tier 2, we get part assembly, the assembler, copper sheets, rotors, modular frames, and smart plating. These are for advanced items. We get jump pads and jelly landing pads. We get the resource sink bonus, which is for getting some pretty neat little stuff. We get logistics MK2, which will give us the tier 2 conveyor belts, lifts, and stackable conveyor poles. But the one that I would like to start with is obstacle clearing because it gives us chainsaws and lets us start doing solid biofuel. This is the most efficient fuel in the game, and it gives us 3 more inventory slots. So this is where I'm going to begin. Now for this, we need a lot of screws, a lot of cable, and a lot of concrete. Fortunately for us, we already have the concrete because we've been auto-producing it. Technically, getting the cables is no big deal. We just need to pull off some copper and make wire. And getting the screws is simply a matter of consuming up a bunch of iron rods. So I'm going to very quickly knock that out, and I'll bring you guys back when it's done, because that's a big step for us in continuing to fuel our base. As far as I'm concerned, you don't need to go that path. You take whichever path you want, but I'll see you after I have these materials prepped. I have everything right here with me ready to go. I'm going to start off by crafting the copper wires, and I'll see you guys in just a bit. All right, girls, we are back, finishing up that cup of coffee. I have done a bunch of crafting, and I've prepared our materials here. So we've got 500 screws, 100 cable, 100 concrete. Let's push the big red button for obstacle clearing. We're going to launch this bad mamma jamma.
Milestone reached. Solid biofuel, created from any biomass, ensures maximum efficiency of biomass burners.
Nice.
To aid in biofuel production, the chainsaw allows for the removal of tougher wood and coral foliage. Additionally, your pocket dimension has been inflated to increase inventory size. Inspirational note: will you be the Fix-It Employee of the Month? You could be if you construct, automate, explore, and exploit by eliminating all obstacles to efficiency. This isn't just fun, it's contractually mandated fun, fun, fun.
It's contractually mandated fun, 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 just like these YouTube videos. So make sure, if you're liking them, you're liking them. If you're liking them a lot, you should be subscribing. But in the meantime, we're going to work on this chainsaw, which requires another 160 screws, which we should be automating at this point, but we haven't yet. And it's going to require some reinforced plates, which we also need to automate. So one of the next major goals for me is to automate everything under standard parts and everything under electronics. We've got concrete automated. We also want to work on automating biomass because now we can make solid biofuel. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. Start kicking some of this stuff over. This stuff is even better than this stuff, but it takes a bit to make. I don't want to sit around all day making this. I would like to have a constructor that makes this for me. But I will show you the difference in this in just a moment. This stuff is juicy. All right, we have a minute and a half until our pod returns, and then we can do our next milestone. And we are very rapidly approaching the end of our first hour of gameplay here. Now, given this is fully guided first hour, but you guys get the idea. All right, we're going to need to make a few more screws because I want to get this chainsaw made. I'm going to get up to 80 of this biofuel. Okay, make a few more screws here. Let's get up to 200 of these. There we go. Okay, let's come over here. Let's craft our chainsaw right quick. Okay. I do want to make at least one more reinforced plate. I'll show you why. Okay, so let's come over to this machine. Now we're running biomass in here. It's doing 6.67 per minute. Okay, let's swap this. 2.67 per minute. Look, our freighter has returned. It will take the next 13 seconds to land. Nice. So these guys give us an even better fuel efficiency. Now only taking 2.67 per minute versus the 6.67 per minute of biomass. So that's legit. So we've got even more efficient in our fuel processing methods. And we now have a chainsaw. So with a chainsaw, it does run on solid biofuel. So you have to have some in your inventory. You can see it right down in the lower left corner. But we can now saw down trees. And we can set it in area mode, which is in right now, or we can hit R and go single mode. Single mode means it will only gather this one single tree. Those trees right there won't be affected. So if I do this, just that tree gets chopped. If I put it in area mode, we'll come over here. It'll gather all the surrounding area as I saw this one tree. Generally, I like to use it in area mode, but if you're trying to leave certain vegetation in certain areas because you like, you like how it looks or whatever, single mode is what you're going to want to do. And so now we can gather up fuel for our system much quicker. But there's a trade-off. I don't want to sit there and craft by hand all of that fuel. So what we need is a constructor that can make the fuel for us. Okay, so we're just going to come right over here and we're going to set up a fuel system. I think we're going to just set him down, say right there. There's step one. And then we're right in line with that. Here's step two. Put a power pole in between them. Get some redundancy in our power grid here. And those actually are not far enough apart. Let's back this one up a little bit. You want to give yourself ample space. Be liberal with the amount of space you put between things. The reason being is I might want to insert a buffer in between these two machines. Okay. But if I come over here right now and I say, okay, machine, I want you to turn biomass from wood. And I put the wood in there. It's now going to start making biomass, okay? Then I want that biomass made of wood to go into this machine. And I want that to be turned into solid biofuel. Okay? Now, I can take and I can run this into one of these machines, like this guy. And it's going to start feeding it. Okay, so we're now automatically feeding our power grid. But I'd have to have two of these setups if I want to feed both. Aha, so you say. But that's where the next step in our milestones comes in which we're going to do logistics from tier 1, right here. And that's going to give us conveyor splitters, mergers, and all this good stuff. And I've already got everything, I think, prepared to go for this. So let's go ahead and drop those in with the quickness. Hit the red button. Send them off. And just to make life a little easier on myself,
conveyor belts can now merge,
I want to create
split, and
a
lift
storage container.
to save space and enhance the productivity.
Now you see how
of the
big it is?
factory.
If
Fixit
you
encourages
target
you to
right
consider
on the
investing in
line,
verticality when it comes to
and it
factory
can fit there,
logistics.
it
If you
will
feel stressed by this
snap to it.
complexity, imagine
think.
yourself on the shore of a vast and calm ocean.
But I think there's something
Breathe
blocking it
in,
right now.
visualize all the people relying on you. The sea is made of billions of faces, each staring at you with hope and tears in their eyes. Breathe out, feel refreshed and focused on your duties.
That's not cool. Why would you say that? Alright, so let's set up a container right here. And yeah, we're definitely, it's definitely all too crammed in the center here. So let's back everything up. Back it up, back it up. We're entirely, this is not good. Okay, so let's start with container and kind of build it in reverse, okay? So the container is going to go right in between these two guys. Right there, that's good. Okay. And then from the container, I'm going to want to build a splitter. We're going to line that splitter up with the container. So I like that, that's good. And then we'll come off of this and go to that. And we'll come off of this and go to that. From here, we'll go into there. Perfect. Okay. So now we need the actual production to be able to put things in there. So let's go back and get our... The cool thing is that there's no loss as we move things around, right? So we can put a constructor right here. Or I could even put it, you know, stagger it off to the side here. Run that into there. Tell this guy, hey, your job is to make solid biofuel. Hook him up to power again. There we go. And he's off and running. Okay. Now, we know that for this guy, he doesn't care what type of biomass he gets. He just wants biomass. Okay. So I can literally put a container right here. And we can buffer multiple types of biomass being produced. So I can put a power pole here. Not a storage container. Production constructor. Spin this around. And let's put one here. And let's set a brother one. Oh, we're out of reinforced plates. That's fine. We'll just set this up like this for now. It'll work. Okay. We'll tell this guy, hey, I want you to start making biomass out of leaves. Throw the leaves in there. They'll get done quick. But now we've got a production line that's going to produce everything we need. And in fact, I don't have to carry any of this stuff on me anymore. I can backstock all of it, and it's going to take care of it for me. And these guys are both getting biofuel, so our power grid is much more stable now, which is huge. And that guy's just sitting there doing nothing, which is sad. Okay, so I think we're going to call it there. At this point in the game, the idea would be that we would continue to work our way through the tiers. And there are many, many tiers. And there are lots of cool things to discover. And this game becomes very beautiful. It becomes very amazing. There's lots to explore, lots to build, lots to min-max, for example. If you're into this kind of thing. Hey, welcome back, Raider. We can see here that this guy is producing 30 iron ore per minute right now. Okay? And we can come up here, and we can see that this guy is producing 1 iron ingot per minute right now. So those are working in a 1-to-1 ratio. But usually these things produce in a matter of 60 per minute. And you would need 2 of those. I'm not sure why this one's only producing 30 per minute. Well, yeah, I'm not sure about why that's happening. So as we begin to do things, we also have the ability, we're going to learn to have the ability to overclock machines, which means, once again, the production ratios are going to change. And we're going to set up the construction lines. So let's come over to our crafting bench right quick. And we would set up a construction line, for example, that would take iron, process it into iron ingots, process the iron ingots into iron rods, process the iron rods into screws, right? We would also have some that are producing iron plates, and then processing the screws and the plates into reinforced plates. And we would have all of that stuff being stockpiled so that we could go and pull from it so that we could do our manual construction of whatever we want. Well, then we're going to start getting into more and more advanced components, and the intricacy just continues to compound. And then we start to get into things like the Tech 2 logistics, which is probably what I will go after fairly soon, which gives us stackable conveyor belts, which lets us start building our bases more vertically instead of just horizontally. So it creates a very interesting gameplay loop that's very enjoyable. It's a very beautiful world. It's a lot of fun. If you're into games like Factorio or Minecraft or really just any of the resource management and sandbox factory games, absolutely worth buying. Love this game. I think it's fantastic. But that is where we are going to call it. Guys and girls, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you liked it, like it. If you'd like to see more like it, hit that subscribe button, bell icon for notifications. I do stream all of my content on Twitch TV/JDon77. Most of the time, I generally don't do these First Look Friday videos on Twitch. But this is kind of the testing grounds to see if this is something that we want to live stream. So if you are interested in seeing a playthrough of this game, come by and let me know on the stream, or let me know down in the comments below. You know, what did you think? Are you interested in playing Factorio? Are you already playing Factorio? And if so, what do you think about it? Y'all be good to one another. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one. Laters.